My daughter and I, we had the opportunity to actually write this book together. What we did was we talked about our story. And we talked about kind of what led up to and kind of how we were raised and what kind of led up to us being divided. But we also talked about what brought us back together. And we talked about the road to reconciliation in this book. And my daughter talks about the abuse she suffered. She talks about the sexual abuse, the drug abuse, and just the mental abuse that she suffered. And so this book to me is a book for reconciliation for moms and daughters who feel like that their relationship is beyond repair. And I am here to say that those relationships can be fixed. Is it easy? No. Is it worth it? Absolutely.
I like school. I was good in school. I got honor roll for a long time when I was there. I played volleyball when I was in middle school. I did do that. That was the only sport I played.
I was what I would consider a strict mother, as best as I knew how. So she wasn't allowed to wear certain clothes. She wasn't allowed to be out kind of past midnight or dark and things like that. She wasn't allowed to be at the train station.
I was about 13 or 14 and I ran away from home. I was actually going to visit my dad, who had just got out of prison. He just wasn't the person he painted himself out to be, so of course it devastated me. So once I went over there and I seen, okay, he's living his nice happy life without me, he don't need me here, so I left. And when I left there, I ended up at a train station in Atlanta that was known for like luring girls for, sexual trafficking or sexual purposes, however you want to put it. But anyways, I met the guy, but the crazy part about it is he was my age. He was about 15 at the time.
So the first time that I remember that she ran away, we were at a mall and we were having lunch and her dad had called and he asked, was she with me? And so I'm looking at my now husband and I'm asking, like, what does he mean? Is she with me? He says, she's not here. And so my now husband, we went over to this train station and we started showing like the security guards her picture and things like that. And so he had mentioned that he had seen her and she was looking lost. And he said she was there for a long time. And a young kid came up to her and they took off walking. And so I remember texting her saying, hey, we're getting the police involved. Where are you? Come home, And so she says, we get a text message saying, leave me alone. I don't want to, I don't ever want to see you guys again, and different things like that. Come to find out later, it wasn't her. It was the person that she was with. He was trying to throw me off the trail and wanted, I guess he thought I was just going to leave it alone, but I didn't.
When I left the train station, we ended up going to one of his friend's house, is what he said it was, but it wasn't his friend's house. It was a house where they sold drugs, they did all the crazy stuff in the neighborhood. So when I get there, it's nothing but guys there, and when I walk in, it's a fish tank with a snake on the inside of it, a live snake, looked like a python. But it was so big, and just imagine me like a 14-year-old, 13-year-old, and you see a snake, automatically you're scared. So that was used against me. So I was raped, gang raped by at least 5 of them, threatening me with that snake. It was like a sick way to do that, but that's how they did it. So, and it turned from me being with him to him selling me to his friend, and me finding out when he left that I've been sold for some drugs and money that I have to pay back. Now, okay, I paid my debt off to them. It starts to get abusive. It starts to get, too much for me. They're older, so they're on harder drugs. And it was scaring me, a lot of stuff that was going on. So I ended up transitioning. And when I left there, I ended up with another pimp. So it kind of went like that until I got caught again. And then, it spiraled on. It kept going for probably about 4 or 5 years like that. They would take me to RYDC, that's like the juvenile hall. They would lock me up for a couple weeks or maybe a month, and I'd come back and I'll do it again. I did that for years. And then it went from me being forced to do it to me putting myself in it, which what I found out is normal. I didn't know that was a normal thing, because I felt so bad for a long time about it, but it's normal to just go for what you already know.
My sister's friend was a police officer, and he called and he had said to me, he's like, I just saw your daughter. And I saw her with a known prostitute. This lady that she's with is known for prostitution. I don't know, I can't say that that's what she was doing, but I know that this person is known for that. I was honestly in disbelief, because I'm thinking, not my child. Even when he said, okay, she's with a known prostitute.
I had got kidnapped and raped by a guy. He was like, what I later found out was a serial killer. He took me to a place that wasn't where he said we was going, and we got out the car and he put a gun to my back and he was just like, it's real. And I was like, whoa. I didn't know what to do. I just did everything he asked me. And I thought that he was gonna kill me. I really thought he was gonna kill me, because he took all my clothes and he threw them in the woods, everything. He made me take my bangles off. I used to wear bracelets all the way up my arm, when I was a teenager. So I had on a whole bunch of bangles, and he told me to take them off. So at that moment, I just thought, he gonna kill me. He don't want nobody to hear anything or, leave any evidence. And it was like a police siren in the distance. And that police officer, whoever he is, he saved my life, because that guy just got up and just ran off. He left me there naked. I had to find my clothes, and I walked down the street with no shoes on, because I couldn't find my heels. So he ended up taking my shoes. So I just walked down the street with no shoes on. I'll always have the scars of that.
I got a phone call, and she sounds so faint, and she's like, Ma, help me, come get me. So I remember being in the hospital and seeing the bottom of her feet, and it became real to me when I saw the calluses on her feet.
How did you get out of that darkness?
Prayer. Prayer, and just me just being tired of doing drugs, going in a circle.
I've met people that lead all kinds of interesting lives, and then something clicks. And then when that clicks, then they're like, they become a different person. And typically, they credit it to God, to prayer. So I just want to know, what made you click?
My grandmother passing away.
Yeah.
It just changed my life. Because I was there when she passed away, and it was just devastating. I never lost anybody that close to me, and me and my grandmother were like 2 peas in a pod. So to see the closest person to me just go away before my eyes, it just showed me I have to do things differently, because first of all, I want to make her proud, and I want to be able to not live my life like this forever, I think that combined with just not wanting to disappoint my mom. So I just went ahead and graduated from high school. I graduated from high school, but I always like to say it was only because of my mom.
Something on the inside of me that would not allow me to give up on her because I knew she was destined for greatness. I've always believed that. So I started the organization because I was blindsided by this issue. And I knew if I was blindsided, that others out there would be blindsided as well. Other mothers, other daughters, other individuals, where my daughter was approached by a kid that looked like her. And so if that was something new to me, I knew that there was others out there that needed to be aware as well. And so I made it my mission to let the world know that this issue exists, and it doesn't exist how you think it does. A lot of the ideas, a lot of the programming, a lot of what we offer came from some of the things that she needed, some of the things I needed, and some of the things like the support that I felt like I needed when my daughter was missing, the support that she felt like she needed. And so just bringing our thoughts together and saying, okay, we needed this at a time and we didn't have it. And so let's be that to somebody else.
What have you accomplished since overcoming this horrific experience?
I graduated. I wrote a book. We started an organization. I overcame it. I survived it.
I am so grateful because I truly attribute all of our overcoming to my faith.